Hello and welcome. In this video, we will learn to understand the returns of mutual funds. Okay? Now, there are various types of returns, and you cannot use one single return to judge whether a mutual fund is good or bad. So, let us go ahead and learn the different types of returns. Okay? Now, the first is absolute return or point to point return. Let me take an example and explain you how it works. Let us say that in the year 2020, I had invested 1000 rupees in a mutual fund, and this 1000 rupees has become 1200 rupees in the year 2025. Okay, so from 2020 to 2025, the money has appreciated from 1000 to 1200 rupees. Now, if I calculate the return, it would come to be 20%. Now, how do I calculate it? By using this formula. Final value minus initial value divided by initial value. Final value is this, initial value is this, and we multiply by 100. So, when we do this, we get 20%. Now, this is point to point return, point to point return. Okay, I had invested this much, I got this much back, so I got 20% extra. Alright, so this is of not much use to us. So, what we do is we go for annualized return. In the year 2020, 1000 was invested, we got 1200 in the year 2025. So if we annualize it, meaning if we calculate how much we have got in every year, then it would come out as 4%, okay, on average. How did we get it? Absolute return is 20%, which we calculated in the previous video, divided by number of years, 5 years, 2020 to 2025, so 5 years. So every year we have got 4% on average. Alright. So this is annualized or simple annualized return. Now, this does not give the whole picture of returns. You see, this 4% doesn't mean that in every year we have got 4% return. What we have basically done is divided the absolute return by number of years, that's all. If we consider 2021, the return might have been 8%. If we consider 2022, the return might have been 3%. If it was 2023, the return might have been 5%, and so on. We do not know what is happening in the year between these 2 points. Correct? And this is why this annualized return is of not much use. Okay? Now, we will proceed to the next one, which is CAGR. This is what you see on mutual fund websites. Okay? Compounded annualized growth return. Let me explain how it is calculated. Let us say that in the year 2020, I have invested 1000 rupees in a mutual fund, and in 2021, this 1000 rupees has appreciated to 1200 rupees. Now, this is 20% point to point return or absolute return. Okay. Next, in the year 2022, I get 20%. 20% of which one? 20% of this one and not this one. Okay. This 1200 rupees appreciates to 1440 rupees, meaning 20% increase is seen from 2021 to 2022. So it is 20% of this and not this. Okay. Next, In the year 2023, this 1440 rupees would have become 1728 rupees. That is 20% increase. Now 20% of what? 20% of this. 20% of this and not this or this. Okay. So there is an increase of 20%. In the year 2024, this would become this. So there is an increase of 20% from here to here and not any other. And in the year 2025, it would be 2487.72 rupees. There is once again 20% increase from this. Okay. So this is called as compounded annualized growth return. So here CAGR is 20%. Here we take the concept of compounding. All right. Now, if you check annualized return, then it would be more than CAGR. Okay. Annualized return is this much. How did we get it? We took this as initial, we took this as final, and we put it in the formula that I explained few minutes ago. So annualized return would be this, but CAGR would be this. Okay. Always the CAGR would be lesser than annualized return. Alright. Now, the CAGR that you find on mutual fund websites are the ones that have been calculated since the inception of the fund. Meaning, the mutual fund might have started 20 years ago. The CAGR that you see on the website tells you how much returns it has given since the fund has started 20 years ago. Okay. So I'll show you an example later. Now let me proceed with this video. Now, CAGRs can be calculated for calendar year, meaning they are generally calculated from January 1st to December 31st. Okay, meaning January 1st of 2021 to December 31st of 2021. Next, January 2022 to December 31st 2022. Next, January 1 2023 to December 31st 2023, and so on. Okay. Now this return, which starts from January and ends on December of the same year, is of no use to us or of less use to us, because not everyone invests in mutual fund on January 1st and removes it or redeems it on December 31st. I might invest in February, you might invest in March, someone might invest in April, and so on. Correct? And due to this, we have rolling returns. Rolling returns gives you an idea as to how much the fund has given considering a point or considering a duration of time. Now, calculating rolling returns is a bit confusing and the definition is also confusing. So, let me take an example and explain you what it is. Let us say that the rolling returns of a mutual fund of 3 years is 36%. Okay. Now, what does this mean? Let me take example. Let us say that person A invests 1000 rupees on January 3rd, 2020. Then it means that this interest is obtained by taking into consideration the time period starting from January 3rd, 2020 to January 2nd, 2023. This is a 3-year time period. So in the 3 years, this was the return. This was the return. Okay. So whatever money he might have invested, 1,000, 10,000, whatever he might have invested. So the interest calculation starts from here and ends here. Okay. Now, second person, person B, he invests in the same mutual fund on March 15th, 2020. And if the rolling returns is 36 percentage, then his returns from this date till this date would be 36 percentage. And this is a time of 3 years. March 15th, 2020 to March 14th, 2023. In the same way, let us say another person C invests in the same mutual fund on November 25th, 2020. And if the rolling returns of 3 years is 36 percentage, then from this date till this date, his mutual fund would be giving him 36 percentage returns. Next, person D, let us say he invests in May 3rd, he invests on May 3rd, 2021. Then he would be getting 36 percentage considering the time from this till this. So no matter when you invest, the 3 years from the date of investment would give you this. This is what rolling returns means. Okay, rolling returns means. It gives you an idea. It gives you an idea as to how much the fund has given considering any 3-year periods from the date of inception till now. Alright. So I hope the concept is clear. Now let me go to my dashboard and show you where you can find all these. Okay. Alright. I am in etmoney.com. I'll go to explore mutual funds and select a mutual fund. Let me select from small cap. Let me go down and select Edelweiss small cap fund. Okay. Let me come down and here you can see trailing returns. Okay, trailing returns. Now here you can see 31.28 per annum. Now this is CAGR and this is since inception of the fund. Okay, since inception of the fund. And this is for the previous 1 month. Okay, last 1 month this fund has given this much percentage return, which is minus 2.23, which is in negative. Okay, in the last 3 months this fund has given this percentage interest. 6 months this percentage, 1 year this, 3 years this, and 5 years this. Okay, now this trailing returns is also a point to point return, meaning the current year is 2024. And when we say last 5 years, it is from 2019 to 2024. Now considering from 2019 to 24, this is the return. But this is not the return that you have obtained, or that this is not the return that the fund has obtained every single year. Meaning from 2019 to 24. 19 to 20 it might have been a different percentage. 20 to 21 it might have been different percentage, 21 to 22 it might have been different percentage, and so on. But when we consider from 19 to 24, this is the average return that we have, or that the fund has given. Okay. Now here you can see category average. Okay, the funds in the same category. Which category is small cap fund? Okay, this is small cap, correct? Small cap. So the funds of same category has given this return. And when you are selecting, or if you are selecting this mutual fund, the category average and this fund values must be almost same, or this must be higher than the category average. When you compare this with this, you can see almost all the values are equal. So this is fine. Alright. So this is trailing returns. Now, if you click on view returns in detail, the rolling returns shows up. Here you can see any 1 year 32.9 percentage, any 3 years 31.8 percentage, meaning from the date of inception, till today, if you consider any 3-year period, then the fund has given 31.8 percentage return. Okay, it might be from any date to any date the next year. Like I gave you the example, from March 1st to February 29th or 28th, from May 5th to May 4th of next year. Okay, that would be for 1 year. Alright, I hope you get the idea. So this is rolling return. So this would give better picture of the fund. Okay. Now, as I said, you cannot depend on any one return to decide if the mutual fund is good or not, because you will have to compare the returns of this with the category average. You will have to look at rolling returns too. You will have to look at the returns of the fund along with the benchmark and so on. Alright. So that is about the returns of mutual fund.